will not be shown this evening so that we may bring you the following coverage of the Minnesota Boys 6A West Finals live from the campus of Concordia College. This evening's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire will be seen at 12:05 a.m.
The Waubun Bombers have been to the 6A West title game each of the last 2 years, and both times Ron Oren's team has been denied. Last year's villain is tonight's enemy, the defending section champion Hawley Nuggets. But the Bombers have that look in their eye. Fresh off a convincing win of top-seeded Barnesville, the Bombers are looking to take that elusive final step. The problem is the Hawley Nuggets don't want to share. They've already beaten Waubun once this year, and the Nuggets are hoping for a repeat performance tonight. Hawley and Waubun have been here before in this same tournament, in the same game, in the same situation. The winner is one game away from a state tournament. Now the Nuggets have been down this road before, winning the Section 6 title last year, but the Bombers' road has ended here the last 2 seasons. The Ron Oren's team is determined to travel on tonight. Hi again, everyone. Steve Hallstrom along with Steve Molstre. Happy to be with you for tonight's Section 6A West Championship game. Steve Molstre been here as a player, that great 1987 Nuggets team, and also as a coach with DGF. You guys advanced as far as the subsection championship game as well. If you're a coach, what are you telling your guys right now?
Well, you're telling your guys to do everything that they did to get you here. You know, don't change anything now. Work hard, play hard, have fun. Don't get caught up in the crowd and everything, and just do what got you here.
Andy Cox will be leading the way for the Hawley Nuggets. The senior forward has really been a dominating force in this tournament. He's averaging 17 points a game, but in the first game he had 21 points against Lake Park Audubon in the subsection quarterfinal. Then in the semifinal the other night he had 25 against New York Mills. What kind of a player is Andy Cox, and what does he bring especially to the Nugget lineup?
Well, Andy Cox is the offensive leader of this team. He's the leader of this team. It's important that Andy gets a lot of touches tonight. He's got a great touch around the basket. He can shoot from as far as 5, 10, 15 feet out with a real nice touch. It's important that he gets his hands on the ball a lot tonight.
On the other side of the ball, Kevin Hanks, the fine senior forward from Waubun, averaging 23 points, 12 rebounds a game. He's already had a 42-point game this season, and he's a very special player. It doesn't take you long to watch Kevin Hanks to know that he is something special.
Yeah, he's a real special player. Earlier in the year, when Hawley played Waubun here on the Concordia Fieldhouse, he didn't get in the game. He didn't get a lot of touches. He didn't get his hands on the ball a lot in the first half. I think it's real key that he gets his hands on the ball early.
Now, there are a lot of different storylines surrounding this game, but the one that jumps out off the page at you is the travels of the Waubun Bombers. 2 years ago, they lost in this game by 2 points to Barnesville. Last year, they lost in this game to 1 point to guess who? The Hawley Nuggets. They'll get their shot at redemption tonight. Right now, we're going to send it down to our baseline sideline reporter, Eric Widman, for tonight's keys to the game. Eric.
Thank you, Steve. Well, the Crow Studio keys to the game are pretty basic. First and foremost, Waubun wants to get off to a quick start. Against Barnesville, they got to a 20-4 lead in the first quarter, and of course, that is what they want to try and do again tonight. Secondly, get active on the defensive side. Don't let their feet stand still in one place. Thirdly, control the defensive boards. If you get out-rebounded, there's a good chance you probably won't win. On to Hawley. The Nuggets, they got to do a good job on the glass. Steve Paschke did not like the way his guys were boxing out against New York Mills. They were going to have to do a much better job at that tonight. Secondly, slow down Hanks and Peralt. Kevin Hanks had 21 points and 12 rebounds against Barnesville, and Joe Peralt had 14, so they're going to have to stop those guys somehow. And thirdly, stay composed. If things aren't going exactly the way they want, they can't get too upset about it. Just stay with their game. Steve, back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Eric. And as we mentioned a few minutes ago, there is quite a bit of recent history between these two teams. Last year, the teams met in this very game, the subsection championship game. It was a 53-45, that was a 1-point win for the Hawley Nuggets. Earlier this year, they met, and 53-45 was the final score in favor of the Nuggets. Steve, you saw that game, and what struck you about that one? Maybe what can the Nuggets do to recreate that atmosphere here tonight?
Well, Jess Stout guarded Kevin Hanks, and he did a real nice job not letting him get the ball, as I mentioned early. And consequently, Kevin Hanks really never got into the game. He never got into the flow of the game offensively or defensively. We know he's a great shooter. He distributes the ball well with his passing. He's a great rebounder. He never really got into the game last night. to do that right off the bat like he did Monday night.
Ron Oren is in his 7th year coaching the Bombers. He's 81-65 over those 7 years, but one more win would certainly do him a lot of good, much more than the one might signify in the record book. Let's send it over to Eric Widman, who's standing by with the Bombers head coach.
Thank you, Steve. Well, first of all, of course, Waubun is the number 4 seed coming in here. And Coach Oren, when you look at the number 4 seed, obviously you guys got to be happy here. You're playing sort of the Cinderella role.
Well, we like to have that role every once in a while, you know, and you watch all the NCAA tournaments, you hear about all these Cinderella stories, and, you know, actually coming in, you know, we got the 4 seed, we've been on a little losing streak. We knew we were a good team, so we really don't, you know, we're not going to consider it an upset if we beat them, but, you know, it's not going to be the same if they beat us, so it'll be a good ball game.
You guys lost to Hawley last year in this game by 1 point. Is there a little bit of a redemption factor here for your guys tonight?
Well, it's in their minds. We don't sit and dwell on it, but, you know, it's in the back of our minds. Just like the Barnesville one the other night, you know, lost to them a couple years ago by 2, lost to Hawley by 1 last year. We're just kind of hoping maybe it's our year.
Kevin Hanks obviously had a huge game for you guys on Monday, and obviously so did Joe Peralt. What did those guys really do that was so special for the game? Did they show you anything that was a little bit above and beyond what you thought they were going to put out?
Well, I'll tell you what, those 2 guys are definitely playing their best ball of the year right now. They're total team players. They're just doing whatever it takes to get the job done right now. You know, we got one goal as a team right now is to win. You know, whatever it takes to get the job done. I don't care if Joe's got 1 point and Kevin's got 20 or vice versa, if they both got 20. It doesn't matter right now, and everybody else just got to chip in and, you know, get points here and there, and hopefully somebody will step up for us.
What's the attitude been like in the locker room for you guys coming out here before the game? What did you say to the guys?
Tell you what, we really don't say much before the game at all. They just go down there and they have their ritual and they listen to a little of their music. It's that new funky stuff. I don't know what it is, but, you know, they're ready to roll.
And real quick, Coach, what do you guys got to do tonight to get a win?
Well, I'll tell you what, we'd love to get out to a good start again, but, you know, it's going to come down to defense and rebounding, and, you know, we want to push the issue up and down the court, and, you know, we got to realize when it's not there and then kick it back out and just, you know, be patient on offense.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck to you. We'll talk to you at halftime.
Thank you much.
Steve, back to you guys.
Well, thanks, Eric. Some things never change. The coaches still can't figure out what those kids' music is saying, and it's good to know that some things are always the same. There are a few differences in this matchup. Let's take a look at tonight's tail of the tape, if you will, taking a look at the matchup numbers. And, Steve, as we take a look to see what the data tells us on this game here, what kind of things stand out to you as far as the Hawley statistics?
Well, I tell you what, Hawley's a good shooting team. They've got a fine touch. They go to the free throw line a lot, and they make a lot of their free throws. So they're going to need to get the ball to Cox, like we said earlier, and possibly get some of the Waubun players in foul trouble and get to the line. I think it's important, just what Coach Ron Oren said, both teams need to live by that. It's box out and play good defense. Those are both important things that every tournament team needs to do.
On the other side of the ball, the Waubun Bombers lost 7 of their last 8 regular season games coming into the tournament, but boy, they sure don't look like they've had any struggles lately. The record now 15-10 on the year, averaging 66 points a game. One of those up-tempo type of teams, and one thing that stands out to me, Steve, is how well both these teams shoot the free throws.
Both of these teams shoot the free throws well, and I think that's because their best free throw shooters get to the line a lot. You got Hanks and Peralt getting to the line a lot. You got Andy Cox getting to the line a lot. Waubun, like we said, they're a scary 4 seed to play. They play a wide open, no fear type of game, and it's going to be a fun one tonight.
Well, Ron Oren was telling us when the tournament began that he really wanted his team to play much better defense than what they had been playing in probably the last 10 to 12 regular season games, and we saw the benefits of that the other night, Steve. We don't think of Waubun as a defensive-minded team, but you sure wouldn't know it by the way they played on Monday night.
Wow, that was the best defense I've seen a Waubun team play in the last couple of years with these same players. They were active with their zone. They stopped Barnesville's penetration. They got a hand in the face of the shooter on the perimeter, and they did a pretty good job boxing out with the exception of that first quarter.
Okay, Eric Widman is making his way over to Nuggets head coach Steve Paschy, getting ready to lead his team into battle. Eric, let's send it over to you.
Thank you, Steve. Of course, Coach Paschy, you guys came on off a very, very tough physical game against New York Mills. How is your team feeling right now?
Well, we're just excited. It's jitters. We just got to get all that anxiety out. Work that out on the defensive end. I think that's the big key for us, just to get out and work hard early.
Huge game for Andy Cox. Are you looking for him to try and pull off another 25-pointer? It's going to be tough.
Well, we're hoping balance is going to do it for us. If the opportunities present themselves, he could have a big game. But we're looking for balance out of our kids tonight.
Kevin Hanks, Joe Peralt both played huge games against Barnesville in the first game. What can you guys do to try and stop them?
Well, we want to try to limit those three-point attempts. We feel that really triggers them. It's kind of their catalyst, so we want to try to take that away. We know
Coach, what is the real X factor for your team right here? Is it, I mean, obviously Waubun can score at will, and you guys had a little bit of trouble boxing out defensively. Is that one thing you're really going to have to concentrate on? Is that the X factor?
Yep, the defensive end, the rebounding and being solid, making them earn everything they get.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck to you. We'll talk to you at halftime.
Thank you much.
All right. Steve and Steve, back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Eric. Let's take a look at how these two teams got to this point. In Hawley's case, they won a 63-51 decision over Lake Park Audubon in the quarterfinal. And then on Monday night, a thrilling barn burner, 54-53 over New York Mills. In the case of Waubun, 71-56 over Ulen Hitterdal, and a very impressive 16-point win over Barnesville, 61-45. Steve Molstre, we've talked a lot about the principals on each team, the Andy Coxes and the Kevin Hanks, but who might be one of the unsung heroes tonight that might make a difference on either side?
Well, I think we saw Monday that Waubun might have borne a star there with Dan Dakota coming in and playing the game that he played. He got double figures in points, had some good rebounds. He did a nice job filling in on their 1-3-1 zone defense, so he might be the unsung hero for Waubun. On the other side, Jess Stout, who is a starter, and he plays most minutes every game, but you don't hear his name a lot. He's kind of in the shadows of the Cox brothers and whatnot, and he's their defensive stopper, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him on Kevin Hanks tonight.
Now, each of these teams has played a demanding regular season schedule, and for the Waubun Bombers, they have 10 losses on the year, but many of them were to some very good teams that are still playing this time of year. They lost twice to Norman County West, once to Norman County East, once to Winnimac, and once, as we talked about, to the Hawley Nuggets. They finished 4th in the Pine to Prairie Conference. On the other side of the ball, the Hawley Nuggets, 5 losses on the season compared to their 20 wins, 2 losses to Barnesville, 2 to Dilworth, Glen, and Felton, and 1 to Perham. The Nuggets finished 3rd in the Heart of Lakes Conference behind Barnesville and DGF. We talked about surprises, and one of the things that Steve Pashy has talked about with this team is some of the younger guys that have stepped forward for him. He talks about especially the 2 Cox brothers, Rob Cox, who is the junior, and Ted Cox, who is the sophomore. You've got to see them play now a couple of different occasions, and what strikes you about those 2 young men?
Well, they look like basketball players. They're lanky, skinny guys with the long arms, and they look like basketball players. But not only that, they're good shooters. They seem to know the game pretty well. They're still young, so they make some young mistakes, but you can call those sophomore mistakes or junior mistakes. But they're just good basketball players. They're gym rats. I know that for a fact. They're in the gym all the time, so they're committed, and that's what they have going for them.
Sometimes the best teacher is big brother beating up on you in the driveway, and they've both had that with brother Andy.
Absolutely, they've had that with Andy through the years. I remember seeing those boys when they were about up to my knees, and they were out in the driveway all the time playing basketball.
And now we're seeing the fruits of that labor here. We're just about ready to meet tonight's starting lineups. We'll be back to the Concordia Fieldhouse with the Section 6A West Final. You're watching high school basketball on WDAY.
The Section 6A West Finals is sponsored by Wells Fargo, Hello Windows and Doors, Hardee's, Dodge, Gateway Building Systems, Otter Tail Power Company, Vegan and Johnson Furniture, Hawley, Silver Lake Co-op Oil, Wall Drug, Peterman Seed Farms, Mickelson Auto Body, Claybecker Implement, Burns Motors, Minn Kotto Metalworks, State Bank of Hawley, Peterson's Paint Supply, Gross Studio, First National Bank of Hawley and Dilworth, Americare Sports Medicine, Pizza Corner, and Egg Country Farm Services.
Welcome back to the Concordia Fieldhouse. Steve Molstre, we planned on a starting lineup for Hawley that included Nate Tweeden, but there's going to be a change there, and we understand for violating team rules that Steve Pashy is going to make a change in his starting lineup, and we're expecting it will be Brady Baxter, although he's not announced that change. But what does that do to the lineup with Nate Tweeden out, at least for a little while at the beginning of the game?
Well, I don't know if it's going to affect them too much. Baxter comes off the bench, and he'll play his role. He's not going to try to do too much. He'll handle the ball, he'll distribute the ball, get the ball to Andy Cox. The best thing about it is Nate Tweeden will be able to come in the second quarter.
All right, we're ready to meet tonight's starting lineups. Let's send it over to Concordia Public Address Announcer, Derek Satter.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd ask now if you direct your attention courtside. The students and faculty of Concordia College proudly welcome you to Concordia's Memorial Auditorium for the 2001 Minnesota Subsection 6A Boys Basketball Championship. Tonight's championship game has the designated visitors on the scoreboard, the Waubun
as directed by Steve Pashy. Will be Rob Cox, Ted Cox, and Brady Baxter, as we mentioned, manning the guard position. Nate Tweeten will not get the start. Andy Cox at the center spot, doing the inside damage for Hawley. For Waubun, the same five that we've seen throughout the tournament. Hanks and Peralta at guard, Wander and Matt Smith at forward, and Nick Kemper, called up from the JV program halfway through the season, will make the start at center for the Waubun Bombers. The Bombers have got out to quick starts in the quarterfinal and semifinal games. 21 points against Lake Park Audubon, 20 against Barnesville. We're ready to get it on in the final. See if the Bombers have some of that first quarter magic up their sleeve again. They'll get the first look at it. Nice to have you with us from the Concordia Fieldhouse. Waubun and Hawley getting set to battle for a spot in the section championship. The first shot goes up by Matt Smith, no good. Ted Cox is there for the rebound.
I think what we're seeing defensively, Steve, is a triangle and two defense by Hawley. Baxter's on Peralt, Stout is on Hanks.
Andy Cox wastes no time getting his name in the scoring column. Forces up a tough baseline floater, and it goes 2-0 Nuggets.
The three Cox boys are in the zone, in a triangle zone. Stout's doing a nice job denying Hanks, and Baxter's on Peralt.
When Waubun played Hawley earlier this year and held Kevin Hanks in check, they played a lot of box and one, triangle and two. We thought we'd see some more of that this year. Tonight, the shot goes up, rebound is pulled down, a foul is called, the ball will go back to Waubun.
I think what Hanks needs to do right now is, instead of standing around, he needs to go get the ball, move without the ball, get himself involved like we said earlier.
Nick Kemper tries the 10-footer. That won't go. Jess Stout is there for the rebound. And he'll trigger it. The three bounces off. Matt Smith is there for the board. Now, skip pass inside. Wander goes up. He's fouled by Cox. And I believe he'll go to the line for two. The first foul on Andy Cox.
Yeah, Andy Cox got a little undisciplined there, left his foot with the ball fake, and gets the ball.
First team foul.
This is Joe Peralt on the inbounds pass. Wander eyes up a three. That's no good. Weak side board by Ted Cox. Wander is a very good three-point shooter, by the way, connecting on 29% of his attempts. But the first one is off, and now Hawley gets a chance to add to a 2-0 lead.
Waubun's going to stick with the zone that they used on Monday night, which was very successful.
This is Rob Cox, number 24, Andy Cox, number 50. Little spin move, rolls off, no good. Nick Kemper is there with the rebound.
Nice aggressive move by Cox, taking the ball to the hole, just didn't finish.
Peralt on top, working on the Brady Baxter defense. Wander had another opportunity for the three, decided to pass on it. Matt Smith gets another chance. He's going to have that shot all night long, Steve.
Yes, he is. I think Waubun, right now, before they waste any more time, needs to make an adjustment and get Hanks involved. He's standing there. He's not even making Stout work to guard him. That'll help the cause. Joe Peralt, averaging 18 points a game, nets his first deuce. And we're tied at 2 with 5:40 to play in the first. This is Baxter at the top, now gives it to Ted Cox. Ball fake around the screen, held scoreless the other night, but he's on the board with a long two, and it's 4-2 Hawley. You see Baxter called a set play, and they got Teddy Cox running off a baseline screen. Nice play.
Hanks weaves through the zone, tries to kick it back to Matt Smith.
Boy, Hawley's defense is doing a real nice job containing Hanks and Peralt so far.
Kevin Hanks under duress from the time he gets across the half-court line. It looks like we're going to see 2, possibly 3 guys on him at a time. Ball tipped around, but the Nuggets control. This is Rob Cox over to Brady Baxter. Skip pass to Ted Cox. Back up top to brother Rob. Inside, ball knocked away, and Kevin Hanks will start the break. Bounce pass, Wander, can't control. Now Rob Cox and Peralt scramble for it. What an athletic play by Rob Cox to keep it alive. Now Jess Stout will try to set up the offense. Now Rob Cox tries to finish on the other end. That won't go, but brother Andy's there for the board in the bucket.
That's a strong offensive rebound by Andy. He might even got fouled on the putback. Nice strong play.
6-2 Hawley, and the Nuggets say you might have started quick last night. But last time out
needs to move the ball. They're playing catch on one side. They need to reverse the ball. Players need to move without the ball.
No movement at all right now by the Bombers. They keep looking for something to open up for Kevin Hanks.
Yeah, possibly they need a timeout and talk about setting some screens, cutting without the ball.
We're going to have a timeout on the floor, and Ron Orton will have that chance to talk to his team. There's 3:54 to play in the first quarter. Our score right now, Hawley 6, Waubun 2.
It helps you unwind, feel closer, even giggle more. The warm water you use every day can cost you less. Install low-flow shower heads, wash clothes in cooler water, and consider a high-efficiency electric water heater. Today's models can be twice as efficient as natural gas models, and with rising fossil fuel prices, Otter Tail Power Company's off-peak rates will save you money for years to come.
Unmatched efficiency, only with electricity. One more advantage from Otter Tail Power Company.
The best things in life are free. Funny, so is our checking. Plus, Wells Fargo free checking comes with free online banking with a leading internet bank. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Every day, in every kind of home, people discover the special pleasures of owning Pella windows. It's the ingenuity of two locks secured by a single handle, the promise of quality from the only company that tests its windows right on the factory line to make sure they're airtight, and the thoughtfulness of a door that locks in 3 places for added comfort and security. Discover why Pella owners are so satisfied year after year after year.
Welcome back to the Cobber Fieldhouse at 6-2 Hawley. Coming up at the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll be selecting a Wells Fargo player of the game.
So far, I think the player of the game is the Hawley defense.
Henry Wander says, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for the player of the game award. He knocks down a 3, and just like that, it's a 1-point ball game. Baxter's pass inside, picked off, good feet and good hands by Nick Kemper, the sophomore. And Wander gets another chance from the other wing.
He's the one of the 3 big 3 that isn't being guarded with the man-to-man. So if they're going to be successful, he needs to come through, and he is right now.
Ron Orrin up on his feet, clapping. He says, I look like a much better coach when Henry Wander hits those 3s. Jestow tries to find something inside, nothing doing. Swing to the other side, Rob Cox. This is Andy Cox now. The 17-footer is good. Andy Cox has 6 early points.
Andy Cox has such a nice touch around the basket, anywhere 17 feet and in.
Dan Dakota looks for the shot. That's partially blocked by Andy Cox. Dakota up again. That's no good. Hanks to the board. Back to Dakota, no good. Back to Dakota again. And they're going to count the basket. A foul was called. It looked like it happened on the floor, but the officials say it was on the way up, and Steve Burns says you'll go to the line. Oh, actually, forget that. I thought he signaled that the basket would count. My apologies, friends. It's just going to be out of bounds. Stays Waubun basketball.
Now, we've seen Andy Cox leave his feet 2 times and get 2 falls in the early going here. He's got to be more disciplined. Hawley needs him.
Steve Pesci has a decision to make now with Andy Cox. Wander, can he get 3 in a row? No. Ted Cox is there for the board. This is Baxter now pushing it up. And he'll pull it back outside. It's 8-7 Hawley. 2:32 to go in the first quarter. Nice to have you with us from the Cobber Fieldhouse for tonight's Section 6A West Final. Ted Cox the 3. That won't go, and Hanks is there.
This is one way Kevin Hanks can get himself involved, is in the transition game, and there we go. Nice feed down to Dakota.
Or get somebody else involved, and Dan Dakota with 10 big points the other night against Barnesville. Ron Orrin said he was the unsung hero of that game, and making a bid, he's already had a couple good free throw opportunities. Now Brady Baxter misses everything, and Peralta's there on the weak side. Hanks push it up to Wander. And this kind of tempo is a little bit more suited to the Waubun offense.
You bet. Hawley likes to run, but Waubun probably a little better running team.
Wander open for another 3. No good, but Hanks is there. Give it back to Henry. To the baseline drive. Good. And he's fouled.
Wander coming up big, but I'll tell you what, Hanks knows that He's doing what he can to get himself involved. He's giving the ball up to the open player.
It's a 9-2 run by the Bombers, looking to make it a 10-2 surge. And Henry Wander will go to the line with that opportunity. How quickly that Waubun offense can get on track, Steve.
Yes, they are. They're instant offense. They've got 3 instant offense type of players. Henry Wander's one of them.
Free throw, kicks out hard, but Dan Dakota's there. Little jump hook is good.
Dakota's proven to be valuable again tonight early on, and I see Andy Cox has gone out early with the 2 fouls. This will be interesting to see how Hawley does offensively without their star.
Into the game, Brett Busby for the Hawley Nuggets. We still have not seen Nate Tweeten. Just Stout takes a look from the corner. Waubun staying in that 2-3, kind of a matchup zone. The wings and the perimeter guys will get out and contest the open player. Rotation inside. Baxter tries to make something happen, but it goes to the floor and it's tied up. Possession arrow stays with Hawley.
Baxter has the right idea in penetrating the zone. He just needs to do something with the ball after he penetrates.
Rob Cox to trigger the inbounds play. Baxter, Rob Cox with an open look. Now decides to try it and hits it.
Big shot by Rob Cox. Anytime you get offense when number 50's on the bench is a good sign for Hawley.
Usually when you take a long look at it and try it, it doesn't fall, but Rob Cox defies the odds. 6-1 down, it's 13-11 Waubun. Dakota again has room from 15. That bounces away, and just Stout among the trees corrals the board.
Good solid box out by Stout, enabling him to get that rebound.
Ted Cox tries to work on the baseline defense of Kevin Hanks, nothing doing. Just Stout now to the paint. An off-balance throw goes up no good, but a foul is called.
Kind of a wild shot by Just Stout. He got up in the air, and I don't think he knew what he was going to do with the ball.
Terry Eider whistles Nick Kemper for his first foul. And that's the first of the game on Waubun, and Waubun did a nice job of that the other night too against the opponent by not getting in that early foul trouble.
You bet. It was a real clean game, the Waubun-Barnesville game, as I recall. Very few falls.
Stout's first free throw is up and good. Second on the way. That kicks out hard, but Busby is there for the rebound. Thought about going up for the shot. Now we'll reset the offense. And now the Nuggets with a chance to take the lead by 2, possibly with a 3. Tough defense by Joe Peralt. Rob Cox will draw the foul on Peralt. That'll be his first and the second team foul on Waubun.
Now with Cox, with Andy Cox on the bench, you see Waubun's zone defense is really extending out onto the perimeter, more so than when Cox was in there, where they were sagging a little bit more.
Stout tries to get inside, knocked away by Hanks, and as the horn sounds, throws a stress fracture on the backboard at the far end of the auditorium. We've got 1 quarter in the books. The State Bank of Hawley scoreboard has our first quarter score, 13-12 in favor of the Bombers.
It begins with an idea, often generated by need. Perhaps it's a new retail site you want, a warehouse, or a new industrial building. Designed with flexibility, but built with strength. From idea to reality, Gateway Building Systems will build your commercial project with confidence. And with pre-engineered buildings by Lester and Butler, Gateway makes your building structurally sound, attractively designed. Gateway Building Systems, building communities for tomorrow.
Get in on next year's snow fun at Clay Becker Implement, your Polaris dealer in Hawley. Now during Polaris Snow Check 2002, save over $1,500 on factory-installed custom options. Customize the 2002 XCSPs or 700 and 800 RMKs. Plus, get a $200 rebate and a free second-year engine service contract. You'd better hurry in to Clay Becker Implement. Snow Check 2002 ends April 16th. Do it now or dream about it forever with Polaris and Clay Becker Implement, your Polaris dealer just off Highway 10 Hawley.
When it's time to paint, remember, your house is a big investment. Protect it with the quality of Pittsburgh paints and service of Peterson's Paint Supply. Pittsburgh paints flow on easily, cover completely, and dry quickly to a lasting sheen. Choose from hundreds of colors available in flat latex, eggshell, or semi-gloss finishes. Plus, Peterson's Paint offers expert color matching and the best advice in the area. You put a lot of pride into your home. Protect it with Pittsburgh Paints and Peterson's Paint Supply, Fargo and Grand Forks.
Since 1948, Nicholson Body Shop has been there to take care of all the dings and dents of life. Drive in and get an estimate and see how Nicholson Body Shop can straighten you out. Auto body and laser frame repair, windshield and glass replacement, wheel alignment, collision repair, and painting. Let their professionals take care of your auto body repairs. If you smash it locally, fix it locally at Nicholson Body Shop, downtown Hawley.
Welcome back to the Cobber Fieldhouse. We'll start the second quarter with Waubun holding a 13-12 lead. Coming up after our second quarter, we invite you to stay tuned for the Wells Fargo halftime report with Eric Widman. Steve, some interesting developments, or lack thereof, I guess, in the first quarter.
Definitely. Anytime Waubun's up 13-12 after one quarter and Kevin Hanks has 0 points, that's probably a pretty good sign for Waubun.
We see our first action of the night from Nate Tweeten, and into the game is Mitch Marr also for Waubun. Joe Peralto says, I've been here all night, knocks down a three. He's now got 5 points. It's 16-12 in favor of the Bombers.
Peralto with some nice range on that jumper, and there's a defender there.
This is Tweeten now, just inside the arc, thinks about it, now kicks it out to Rob Cox. Ted Cox, the open three, no good. Fought for Tweeten with the rebound, up against Dan Dakota, muscles in, no good. Ted Cox follows and scores.
Waubun needs to do a better job boxing out. They can't give Hawley 2 and 3 shots. We've got Hawley in a 1-3-1 zone, so they're trashing that triangle and 2 defense that worked pretty well for him.
Peralta with another look at it, no. Henry Wander keeps it alive, but finally it's grabbed by Rob Cox. Number 15, Mitch Marr, is not used a whole lot, but he's 37% from three-point range. Speaking of high percentage, there's Andy Cox inside for 2. He's now got 8.
That's a nice, quick drop step right by Kevin Hanks.
This is Marr looking inside for Hanks, muscles in against Andy Cox, puts it up, contact, no call, out of bounds off of Hawley. It'll stay Waubun basketball.
Well, Kevin Hanks might have a little more freedom to roam and get involved now that somebody isn't chasing him. They got the 1-3-1 zone defense by Hawley.
Peralta inbounds, Wander's got the open three and knocks it down. His third trifecta of the first half. And it's 19-16 in favor of Waubun. Tweeten now from 17. Bounces off, no good. Hanks is there.
The game is starting to become a little up-tempo. It'll be interesting to see if both these teams can continue this pace.
Hanks thought about the three, now drives inside. A foul will be called in the lane. Terry Eider with the call. Let's see what he's got. Looks like Jess Stout will pick up the foul. The fourth team foul on the Nuggets. His first of the night, 19-16 Waubun. And Steve Pash, you wanted to take a timeout maybe to talk a little bit more defense, Steve Molstre. What do you like so far, though, that the Nuggets have been doing in order to slow up Kevin Hanks?
Well, obviously coming out in that triangle and 2 threw him off rhythm, and he didn't get a good start. Like, it was one of our keys of the game is for him to get a good start. So I like that, and then I also like that they're switching up their defense. Instead of letting Waubun see the same defense the whole time and get used to it and figure it out, they're switching it up. Don't be surprised if Hawley comes back to the triangle and 2.
Henry Wander averaging 14 points a game. He's scored as many as 27 against Lake Park Audubon this season. His coach, Ron Oren, says he loves these TV games, and he's loving this one so far, already in double digits with 11 first half points. This is Marr. His first three is good. Well, we told you can shoot him. Offering the evidence there. It's 22-16 now in favor of the Bombers.
That's a bad sign from Hawley when that many players for Waubun are hitting the outside shots.
Defense collapses on Andy Cox, so Nate Tweeten will get a 3-look. And he makes it. His first 3 of the night. His first points of the night. It's 22-19 Waubun.
I think Coach Paschey's happy that he's got the offensive Nate Tweeten back in there.
Peral tries a 3. No, Hanks is there. Tried to go up without coming down. Put it up without bringing it back to the floor. He's fouled as he tries to do so. The foul will be whistled on Rob Cox. That's his first.
Hawley's starting to rack up some falls here. As long as they don't get anyone with 3 balls before the half, they should be all right.
You see the replay, and Kevin Hanks, not only does he have a pretty tall frame at 6'5", not only does he have those long arms, he's got those quick hops too. It allows you to do a lot of things before anybody knows exactly what you're up to.
Yeah, and you hit it right on the nose. He does get up quick. There's some jumpers that can jump high, but not necessarily quick. He's a quick jumper.
A 75% free thrower on the year. He'll have to settle for 50% that trip, and it's 23-19 Waubun. Stout baseline up against the Hanks defense. No good, but Andy Cox is there for the rebound.
This Waubun zone, they're leaving offensive Hawley players unattended on the box out, and that's going to hurt them. It's going to come back to haunt them.
It's the second personal foul on Joe Peral, the third team foul. Andy Cox now steps to the line. He's a 61% free throw shooter on the year, averaging 17 points and 10 boards a game. His first free throw bounces hard off the back iron. He's had 17 double-doubles this year, needs just 31 points to reach 1,000 for his career. Second free throw bounces out as well. Dan Dakota is there for the rebound. Hanks hesitates, now kicks it to Peral. He's got an open look. That try bounces off hard, and Andy Cox is there. Well, Peralta's getting his share of open shots, Steve Molstre.
Yes, he is, and he cashed in on one earlier, but he needs to sink a couple more, especially if Hanks isn't going to be involved on the offense.
Tweeten's miss is rebounded by Hanks to Wander to Marr. Reverse layup is good.
Real nice fast break by Waubun, and that's what they're best at. And you know, look who it started out with. It started out with a rebound and a nice deep pass by Kevin Hanks.
That's 9 bench points now for the Bombers, and we talked about it the other night. Players that you don't count on are stepping forward for Waubun. 25-19 with 4:31 to go. Cox inside all alone, but it bounces away.
I think it's a big key for Hawley to get the ball down low to Cox. You see how he spins so quickly and gets himself free for the shot.
Hawley changing defenses again. It's a man-to-man. Hanks shoots. That's no good. Ted Cox is there. Kevin Hanks still trying to get his offense figured out. Andy Cox crashes in hard on the floor. A foul is called. Looks like it will be a block, as Cox was trying to take it strong to the goal.
Yeah, Andy Cox isn't shy. Obviously, he knows he's the go-to guy, but he's taking the ball hard to the hole.
Dan Dakota is called for the foul. That's his first, and the fourth on Waubun. Rob Cox to throw it inbounds to Nate Tweeten. Tweeten left alone for a minute, but then the quick defense of Hanks is there. Now he drives inside. Gliding layup is good. Nate Tweeten's got 5. It's 25-21 Waubun.
The Waubun zone defense has to stop penetration. They can't let Nate Tweeten glide right across the lane like that.
Peral trying to get it over to Nick Kemper, I believe. The pass almost bounced out of bounds. Saved, but Jess Stout brings it in for the left-handed layup. Jess Stout's first field goal of the night is 25-23. Just when you thought the Bombers were about to open up some space, back come the Nuggets. And we've got a 2-point game with 3:18 to play in the half. Peral to the elbow.
You're right, Steve. They are in a man-to-man now, and you know, you think that Waubun would take advantage of this and get it to the big guy.
You got to expect him to get Kevin Hanks on a post-up move against the shorter Jess Stout. Now they do. Inside to the glass. That's no good. He got a pretty good look, Steve. Just couldn't get it to fall.
You bet. They need to, and you said it right. Jess Stout is guarding him, and he's much shorter, giving up several inches. Get him down in the post and get him the ball.
Skip pass. Tweeten finds Ted Cox for 2, and one coming. The Nuggets have a chance to take the lead.
Wheaton shows his value to the team. Last time down, he drove the lane real nice. This time, a beautiful pass to an open Ted Cox underneath the basket.
So Ted Cox now looking for his 7th point of the game after being held scoreless in the quarterfinal. It's good, and it's a 26-25 Hawley lead on the State Bank of Hawley scoreboard.
Why so glum, my gym-shorted chum? I'll never make the track team. Say yes I can with Hardy's roast beef sandwich. Yes I can, now I'm feeling fine. Oven roasted and carved to order, served to you in record time. Now do it for the biscuit. Yes I can.
Hardy's original roast beef is back. Bigger, oven roasted and carved to order.
Come on home.
Free checking comes with so many other benefits, we leave other banks in the dust. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Every day, in every kind of home, people discover the special pleasures of owning Pella windows. It's the ingenuity of 2 locks secured by a single handle, the promise of quality from the only company that tests its windows right on the factory line to make sure they're airtight, and the thoughtfulness of a door that locks in 3 places for added comfort and security. Discover why Pella owners are so satisfied year after year after year.
Welcome back to the Cobber Fieldhouse. 26-25 Hawley. The news is slightly bad for the Bombers. They're behind by 1 point, but that news doesn't seem so bad when you consider that Kevin Hanks has yet to really get his game on track.
Yeah, he only has 1 point, 1 free throw, no field goals, and finally he did get a nice field goal attempt down underneath, but he missed the bunny layup. But they're only down by 1, so that's good news for Waubun. I don't think we're going to see Kevin Hanks this quiet the whole game.
You can bet on that. Eric Whitman, you were in the Waubun huddle. What do you got for us?
Yeah, Steve, Ron Oren is very unhappy with the way his guys are playing right now. He feels like they're being a little bit hesitant. He wants them to start attacking offensively and start boxing out on defense. He is not happy with the way his guys are playing in the last minute and a half. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Eric. Interesting to see now if if Hawley will change defenses. They don't. Peralt looks for the long 2. Nate Tweeten gets a piece of it, and the Nuggets have numbers. But Rob Cox will pull it out. Andy Cox from 15.
There he goes again. He shows that great touch, and I've said it 4 or 5 times already tonight, but it's true. He has a real nice touch around the basket.
Andy Cox now with 10. Peralt for 3. No good. Rebound fought for. And Mitch Marr had the inside position on Ted Cox. I'm not sure how this will be called, but it looks like a foul will be called on Ted Cox. Indeed, it is his first and the 5th team foul on the Nuggets.
Checking over the Bombers, number 25, Jesse Locke.
Jesse Locke into the game now, and Joe Peralt will take a seat. Dan Dakota also in. Mitch Marr will have a chair. A well-earned round of applause for Mitch Marr, who has 5 early points. Locke looking to inbounds, finally gets it away to Kevin Hanks. Working on the defense of Jess Stout. Goes to the lane, he's fouled, up and no good, and the lid stays on for Kevin Hanks, but he'll go to the line.
Real nice take by Hanks here, showing his versatility, stepping out this time on the perimeter and then taking Stout, who's playing straight up defense, right to the hole, makes a nice move and draws the foul. And that's Stout's 2nd foul now. They need to get the ball into Hanks and possibly make Stout foul him more. Get Stout in foul trouble. Without Stout on the floor for Hawley, I don't know who's going to guard Kevin Hanks.
You almost expect Waubun to clear out one side of the court, get a guy on the perimeter, Hanks inside, posting up a guy, and let him go one-on-one. We haven't seen it yet, though, tonight from the Bombers.
No, we haven't, but I like that call, Steve.
Well, every so often you stumble across one, you know. Even a blind squirrel his best to the Cobber Fieldhouse. He's now got 12 points. It's 30-26 in favor of the Nuggets, their largest lead of the night. Hanks, floater, good.
You can see these last, sorry about that, Steve, the last 4 trips down, Hanks has got himself involved.
But Tweeten answers with a 3 on the other end. Nate Tweeten has 8, a pair of threes. It's 33-28. And at one end, the Bombers counter. The other end, the Nuggets answer. This time, Hanks will not get it to go. Now the Nuggets have a chance to open up a 7 or an 8-point lead. Tweeten thought about it twice. Now wheels inside. Not much room. Tries to get a bounce pass to Andy Cox, and it's picked off. There's your clear out. But Hank says, you know what? We got a better idea on the other side. You admire that about the young man, that he wants to get everybody else involved, but you keep waiting for him to take it and make something happen. The Nuggets make something happen. They strip it away from Kevin Hanks. Now Andy Cox to the glass. No good. Fought for, and Jesse Lotka controls. With 32 seconds to play in the half, it's 33-28 Hawley.
With Peralta on the bench, Hanks has been handed over the point guard duties, and I believe they're going for one shot with 20 seconds left.
Inside, 20 seconds to play. Now Kevin Hanks will be working on the jet stout defense. Now Nate Tweeten gives some help. Hanks to the baseline, floats in off the glass for 2 with 7 seconds to play. Can the Nuggets get a shot away? Tweeten tries to create, off balance. Not even close. It's tipped away, and at halftime, 33-30, and the Hawley Nugget fans are on their feet. Eric Widman is standing by with Steve Pashy. Eric, will send it over to you.
Steve, Coach, you guys right now have a 3-point lead at the halftime. Your feelings on the first half?
Well, offensive boards really hurt us early, and then we talked about the 3-point shooting. We know that Peralta is a good 3-point shooter. We just got too deep on our sinks on the backside in the 1-3-1, so we have to find him better. The early foul trouble, I think we weathered that. Andy and Jess both have 2. Nice to have Tweeten back. I think he gave us a big lift. Baxter did a nice job in the interim. So it's going to go down to the wire. We just have to play solid and stick with our game plan right here. And it's what it's all about. It's March Madness.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck in the second half. 33-30. We'll be back with more on the Wells Fargo halftime report. Stay with us.
The best things in life are free. Funny, so is our checking. Plus, Wells Fargo free checking comes with free online banking with a leading internet bank. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
At Vegan and Johnson Furniture downtown Hawley, you will find super savings in every department. Quality furniture to spruce up any room in your home. Stop in March 16th and 17th for coffee and cookies and save during their March anniversary sale at Vegan and Johnson Furniture downtown Hawley. Waldrog and Gift Shop in Hawley has it all. They're Hawley's general store on the corner of 6th and Main. Waldrog has home and health items, photo processing, prescription services, a gift shop, and even a restaurant. Why go a long way to do your shopping when Waldrog has everything you're looking for, in town or on your way to the lakes? And remember, Waldrog is your Value Right pharmacy in Hawley. Supplies for framing, floral, rubber stamping, and scrapbooking. The key to savings is your Ben Franklin Craft Store, Northport.
The President of the United States, George W. Bush!
People just kind of built that are waiting to get
wants tax roll.
Here comes the Boeing 7.
And what they're talking about with WDAY and WDAY.
It's be very important to that.
It's the people's money. Dakota, what?
Didn't make it. Not notice.
Finished up. They.
A Fargo teenager shares his story of survival tonight at 10.
Welcome back to to the Wells Fargo halftime report, where the Hawley Nuggets have a 33-38 lead at the half. Right now, sit back and enjoy the Nugget Sonics. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on the Wells Fargo halftime report.
Why so glum, my gym-shorted chum? I'll never make the track team. Say yes I can with Hardy's roast beef sandwich. Yes I can, now I'm feeling fine. Oven roasted and carved to order, served to you in record time. Now do it for the biscuit! Yes,
Hardy's original roast beef is back. Bigger, oven roasted and carved to order.
Come on home.
Protect your investment with versatility and value. Coverall Building Systems has a wide variety of durable, high-quality, fabric-covered structures in both arch and truss designs for industrial, commercial, and agricultural uses. Engineered for strength and durability, these structures are available in widths up to 160 feet. Permanent or mobile, Coverall gives you an easy-to-install, cost-effective solution for protection or workspace. Coverall, brought to you by the authority in building systems, Gateway Building Systems.
Peterman Seeds of Hawley knows the seed business. They've been providing certified seed for 40 years. As a family-owned farm for 4 generations with North Dakota and Minnesota approved seed plants, they have seed variety knowledge farmers need. Also available at Peterman Seeds is the Thunder line of top-producing corn and soybean varieties, which were at or near the top in most test plots, providing customers with the best quality seed at comparative prices. That's Peterman Seeds, growing strong for 4 generations.
From the very first television broadcast in the Red River Valley nearly a half-century ago to today, WDAY-TV has been the #1 rated source for television news in the region. From long before sunrise till late into the night, we're here to make sure you get the information you need when you need it. That's what it means to be a leader, your news leader, a title we're dedicated to, and will continue to work hard to earn every single day. WDAY News, we are your news leader.
Welcome back to the Wells Fargo halftime report, where Hawley has a 33-30 lead over Waubun. Waubun star Kevin Hanks with 6 points, and Hawley boys Nuggets star Andy Cox with 12. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Passenger seating, available best-in-class power and cargo room, plus optional full-time 4-wheel drive traction. Dodge Durango 4x4 is ideally suited to get you out of tough scrapes. Dodge Durango, different.
Checking comes with so many other benefits, we leave other banks in the dust. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Look for
Pizza Corner Pizza in the freezer case of your nearest grocery store and pick out your favorite. Pizza Corner's vacuum fresh packaging is the reason why Pizza Corner Pizza is the best tasting frozen pizza. With large amounts of quality toppings, Pizza Corner Pizza makes a great tasting meal when you're in a hurry. When you serve Pizza Corner Pizza, your kids will say, it's so good. Look for Pizza Corner Pizza at your grocery store or order it at your favorite tavern.
Every day, in every kind of home, people discover the special pleasures of owning Pella windows. It's the ingenuity of two locks secured by a single handle, the promise of quality from the only company that tests its windows right on the factory line to make sure they're airtight, and the thoughtfulness of a door that locks in 3 places for added comfort and security. Discover why Pella owners are so satisfied year after year after year.
Steve Hallstrom and Steve Molstre and Eric Whitman with you from the Concordia Fieldhouse for tonight's Section 6A West Championship game. And at halftime, it's 33-30 in favor of the Hawley Nuggets. Steve Molstre, as we take a look at the halftime stats, a few interesting things. One thing jumps out at you. Both teams have taken very good care of the basketball. The Waubun boys with just 4 turnovers, Hawley with 5.
You bet, a very clean game in that respect. I think both teams could do a better job on boxing out, and especially the Nuggets. They're giving up a lot of offensive rebounds, especially late in that first half. They need to do a better job boxing out.
The Hawley Nuggets are known as a team that shoots the ball well from the field, averaging 50% from the field, and they certainly held true to form in that first half, 52%. And the Waubun boys, not bad either, but you got to do a little bit better than 40% at this point of the year. How can the Bombers go about getting some better shots? Actually, we got, well, okay, I thought Eric Whitman was with Ron Oren, but he's not. Now he's making his way over to him. It's our version of the double clutch. Eric, we'll send it over to you.
Thank you, Steve. Coach, you guys right now are down 3. What did you tell the guys at the half?
Well, we didn't play a very good first half, and we're only down by 3. We considered ourselves pretty lucky, actually. So we just have to come out and play a better half, and hopefully they'll cool off a little bit on their shots, and we should be just fine.
Okay, great, Coach. Thank you very much.
Guys.
Good luck to you. Steve, back to you guys.
Thanks very much. Steve Molstre, let me finish that question to you. What can the Bombers do to get some better looks in the second half?
Yeah, they only shot 40% from the field, and I thought we saw a lot of standing around, and they were a little unsure on how to attack the Hawley defense. They need to get more movement, get their star Kevin Hanks involved, get the ball moving and attack more. Just the same thing we heard from Eric Whitman earlier when he listened in on Ron Oren's huddle.
It has come so easily to the Bombers in the first 2 games of this tournament. You wonder if maybe they just didn't expect that their winning ways would carry with them and get them out, kind of spot them to that great start. It did not happen. In fact, the Hawley Nuggets scored 6 of the game's first 8 points. But Ron Oren's team rebounding nicely, and you got to tip your hat to the Nuggets. They came out and played very well and were very aggressive early. Because of that, they take a 3-point lead into the second half. We'll set up the starting lineups for you. Rob Cox, Ted Cox, Andy Cox, Jess Stout, and Nate Tweeten. And Jess Stout gets the Hawley fans on their feet with an early 2. A long 2 it was. It's 35-30. Waubun will try to answer. They get the ball into Kevin Hanks right away, Steve. We thought we might see that. Kind of at the high post area there, and a foul is called. Jess Stout will pick up the foul. That's his 3rd personal, and that's a tough time so early in the half to get that 3rd.
Yeah, that's scary. And if you're Waubun, I think you go right back to Hanks and let him take Stout to the hole, because Stout's got to make a decision if he's going to play straight up or if he's going to make that contact. He's got 3 fouls.
Hanks muscles in against Andy Cox. That won't go. Ball's tipped around, and Hanks follows it and ends up with the board. Peralt kicks to Wander for the 3.
That's a super ball reversal by Peralt. He got the ball up at the top of the key, recognized Henry Wander was open, snapped that pass over there. Wander set up, made a nice 3-point shot.
Wander now with 13 on the night, 35-33 Hawley. 7:12 to go from the Cobber Fieldhouse on the campus of Concordia College in Moorhead. Glad you could be with us for this Section 6A West title game. The winner goes to Bemidji tomorrow to take on Cass Lake Bena in the Section 6 championship. Shot no good by the Nuggets. Now Joe Peralt will send it to Wander. Another open 3. No good, but Peralt follows. Leaner, a floater I should say, doesn't go. Fights for the rebound, and a jump ball is called.
A lot of missed out blocking out assignments. We're seeing both teams kind of shoddy on the blocking out. I think both coaches would like a little improvement in that area.
It seems Steve, like both teams are just a half step slower than what we saw the other night. Maybe it's the jitters of being in the big game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think neither team looks as sharp or maybe is hustling as much.
Kevin Hanks with a nice idea, the quick flip pass to Nick Kemper, but he couldn't corral it. It goes out of bounds, and the Nuggets will get it back with a 2-point lead. .6:33 left to play in the third quarter. The Bombers in that matchup, 1-3-1 zone. Tweeten inside, little off balance. Foul is called, and it'll remain Hawley basketball.
Tweeten playing his usual aggressive offensive style, penetrating the gaps in that zone, making something happen. Picks up or draws a foul on the Waubun defender.
That's Nick Kemper's second personal foul, the first one of the half for the Bombers. The Hawley Nuggets, the defending 6A West and the defending Section 6 champions. Trying to do it twice in 2 years. Just out in trouble, now calls the timeout.
Pretty good ball movement by Hawley offensively, but Waubun responding well and getting back onto that weak side and recovering well.
Steve Paschy signaling it'll be a 30-second timeout. The Nuggets, as we mentioned, won the Section 6 championship last year, played Ortonville in last year's Class A state quarterfinals and lost 49-42 here in this very building that had been so kind to them through the Section 6 tournament. Ortonville, a very good team, and when I last checked, Ortonville was still alive in the Minnesota Class A playoffs. Had a couple games earlier here today. Staples Motley beating Warroad 32-29 in the 8AA semifinals. And the game just before ours, Thief River Falls falling to Long Prairie Gray Eagle 54-46. Ted Cox, ball fake, now kick it out to Tweeten for the three, and that's good. Nate Tweeten has his third three of the night. He's got 11, and it's once again a 5-point Hawley lead.
Waubun has to be aware of where Tweeten is at all times. He's too good of a shooter to leave out on the wing like that open.
Peralt goes up for the shot. It's tough when you're a right-handed shooter. You go around a screen to the left because the defender on the screen can reach out and get a part of it many times without getting a piece of the hand. But in that case, Nate Tweeten not able to do it. First free throw is good.
Yeah, you saw Peralt had to lean and adjust his body because he is right-handed coming around that left side.
2 for 2 for Peralt. It's 38-35 Hawley with 5:52 to play in the third quarter. One other score to pass along in Section 8A, Badger Greenbush Middle River beating Red Lake tonight, 61-47. Tweeten, ball fake, steps to the elbow, now surrounded, leans in for the floater. Looked like it was going to fall, but it caroms out unkindly, and Nick Kemper is there for the rebound. Wander now in on the Jess Stout defense. Spins for two.
I like Wander taking Stout to the hole. I don't know if he knew that Stout has 3 fouls, but you can see Stout backing up and not wanting to initiate any contact.
Andy Cox just inside the line. That kid can shoot it from anywhere.
Yes, he can.
It's a 3-point Hawley lead. Kemper all alone inside, too strong. Bounces away, and Ted Cox is there.
You're seeing this last minute, both teams picking up the pace. They're getting up and down the court real well right now.
Skip pass. Nate Tweeten looking inside for Jess Stout, and Steve Paschy unhappy with that pass, and he'll send in Busby. Brett Busby, the 6'5 junior, and Nate Tweeten will have a chair.
Well, Tweeten does a nice job with his look-away passes, fooling defenders. That time, that got away from him.
He's explaining his case to Steve Paschy. Coach says, son, I don't care what your excuse was. It ended up over in the band shell somewhere.
I think you're right, Steve. Coach Paschy isn't buying this one.
Kemper inside, off the glass for two. Nick Kemper denied on the last trip up the floor. This one falls. It's 40-39. We've got a 1-point game with 4:32 to play in the third. Ted Cox looking for the three. And all of a sudden, the Nuggets are getting hot.
You can see Hawley has a lot of different weapons, and this Waubun zone has to keep track of all of them, and that's a tall order for the Waubun zone. They got Ted Cox, they got Andy Cox, Nate Tweeten. They can all hit the outside shot.
Now Hanks inside of 15 feet. That's no good. Good defense that time by Rob Cox. Rebound pulled will bring it into the front court. Splits the double team. Ted Cox, can he make another three? No, but fighting hard for the rebound is Brett Busby. He got the last hand on it, and even though the Nuggets don't get the ball, Andy Cox comes in to say, well done, young fella.
I like Ted Cox's attitude here. He feels it. He felt the rhythm. He just nailed one. Not shy at all, putting up the shot again.
Well, you knew there was something special about him after his first start. 20 points and 10 rebounds against New York Mills.
That's a great way to start.
And how about the defense? Blocking Joe Peralt, but Peralt swings in with the left hand. That won't fall. And Ted Cox will bring it into the front court.
Just when you think Waubun's going to eke themselves back into the game, Hawley comes back and drains the basket.
Ted Cox with either something in his eye or the contact lens got displaced. The old infamous displaced contact lens situation.
Checking with the Nuggets for 52, Nate Tweed.
And everybody who has some sort of background in contact lensology goes over to lend a hand. Well, Steve, it's 43-39 Hawley here with about 3.5 minutes to go. You get the feeling that the Bombers need to make a little run and grab that lead here soon, because every time they get close, the Nuggets are able to push that lead again.
Yeah, the Nuggets have been answering well to each one of Waubun's runs. And here we see a steal, and we got a 2-on-1.
Peralt, the layup, and that's good, and the foul. Well, I think everyone in the building was wondering if Peralt was going to throw it up for the alley-oop. At least I know we were. We kind of started scooting up in our chairs anticipating the big finish, but Peralt takes it strong for the deuce and the foul. He's got a chance to cut it back to a one-point game.
Yeah, I think you're right. We were both hoping we'd see a little alley-oop dunk there.
Free throw is good. Peralt now with 5 second-half points. He's up to 10 for the night. 3:22 to play. You get the feeling this one's going right down to the wire. It's 43-42 Hawley on the State Bank of Hawley.
Every day, in every kind of home, people discover the special pleasures of owning Pella windows. It's the ingenuity of two locks secured by a single handle, the promise of quality from the only company that tests its windows right on the factory line to make sure they're airtight, and the thoughtfulness of a door that locks in 3 places for added comfort and security. Discover why Pella owners are so satisfied year after year after year.
Stop by the new Silver Lake Co-op in Hawley. They have hot stuffed pizza and smash hit subs in their food court. All the convenient goodies for on the go. Plus videos from Take-Two Video Express. The Silver Lake Co-op in Hawley is your Cub Cadet equipment dealer. You can pump gas 24 hours a day, and they have bulk fuel delivery. You can find it all at the Silver Lake Co-op, just off Highway 10, Hawley, Minnesota. First National Bank of Hawley and Dilworth is your full-service hometown bank. From retirement plans to checking and savings, drive-through service, and instant cash machine, First National Bank of Hawley and Dilworth can handle your financial needs. Stop in and talk with their professionals about your personal or business financial goals and future. First National Bank of Hawley and Dilworth, where banking today is about your future.
The Hawley Nuggets have a 1-point lead with 3:22 to play in the third quarter. And following our game, we'll be picking a Wells Fargo player of the game. Hope you'll be able to stick around with us for that. Eric Whitman was in the Nuggets huddle a minute ago. Eric, what do you have?
Thank you, Steve. Well, first of all, Teddy Cox, it looks like he took a little bit of an elbow to the eye. He lost his contact. His eye is watering. He's been rubbing it, so it may affect his shooting a little bit. Secondly, they're going to start doubling down on defense. Steve Pashy is not happy with the way the guys are boxing out, so they're going to start doubling down a little bit. Back to you guys.
When you wear contact lenses, you always bring a spare to the game, because those of us who have them know if you lose one, you're in bad shape. You have to start aiming 3 feet to the right because everything gets fuzzy on the other side. This is Ted Cox in the corner to Brother Rob. Long skip pass to just out. Inside on the defense, and Nick Kemper takes it strong to Kevin Hanks. It won't fall. It just rolled around and finally fell off, and Kevin Hanks brings it into the front court. Peralt into that zone. Nice move around the screen for 2.
Peralt starting to make some noise. 2 nice drives.
It's a 44-43 lead for the Bombers with 2:47 to play in the third. Kevin Hanks still has not had the kind of offensive night that we expected, still looking to hit his stride. He was held without a field goal for the first 13 minutes of the first half, and he has not scored a field goal in the first 4:20 or so of the third quarter. Now tipped away on the inbounds pass. Wander in, 2-on-2, give it back to Peralt. Decides to hold up. Hanks, ball fake, got his defender in the air, but good position, wasn't able to do much with it. Now Dan Dakota inside, lost the handle, tried to get it back, and I believe he pushed off.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if he was expecting that pass or not. It looked like he was going to crash the boards thinking a shot was going up.
Second Hawley foul of the second half and the second personal foul for Dan Dakota. 2:24 to play third quarter, 44-43 Waubun. Hawley has led most of the way. Tweeten skip pass to Rob Cox. Inside, back out to Tweeten. To the lane. Floats off the glass, no good. Follows his miss. Wheels around. Nice move, up and in.
Real nice body control and pivot work by Nate Tweeten.
Now Hanks, ball fakes the baseline. Rises up, off the glass for two. There's Kevin Hanks. We talked about him. If he could somehow get his offensive game ignited, the Bombers would be in much better shape for the final 9:44.
You bet. You can see in the last couple minutes that Waubun zone is even extended more, and they're being a little more aggressive with more ball pressure on the perimeter.
Tweeten finds a step, so he lets it go. Nate Tweeten has hit big three after big three, and the Nuggets are now up 48-46. Hanks working on Jess Stout. Crashes in off balance. Throws up a shot, it won't go, but a foul is called.
It looked like Andy Cox had pretty good position, and he did go straight up, but the referee disagrees. Says he got there a little late and called him for the block.
You see the replay. Cox steps in as Hanks is going up. 9 times out of 10, the officials will give that to the offensive player. First free throw. Rims around and spins away.
When I see that replay, I'm glad I'm not an official, because even on the replay, it's really debatable whether he gets the foul or not. And you can see well under his season average, and they're still in the game.
The scary thing about Kevin Hanks, though, he could still end up with 33 by the time it's all said and done.
You're absolutely right.
He'd be happy with just one right now, and that won't go. So Kevin Hanks continues to struggle here with 1:07 to play in the third. It's 48-46 Hawley. Ted Cox inside the arc, pulls up, too strong. Peralt is there.
We got Hanks in the open court, and this is what he likes.
Hanks inside, draws the contact on Rob Cox. Kicks it out before he knew a foul was going to be called.
Well, Hanks doesn't have a lot of points, but he has made a lot of Hawley players fall him today.
Expect more of the same. Andy Cox now with 3, Jess Stout with 3, Rob Cox with 2. This is Dakota. Matt Smith back in the ballgame. Hanks all alone on the baseline.
That's nice passing by Smith and Dakota, and a nice, strong move to the basket by Hanks once he gets the ball.
2 role players, Smith and Dakota, making it happen on the offensive end. Not with the points necessarily, but setting up someone else. Now Tweeten inside, off glass for 2. Tweeten now has 10 second half points, 18 on the night, and it's 50-48 Nuggets with 21 seconds to play in the third.
Now we got Stout back on Hanks. If you're Hanks, you probably want to take it at him.
Dakota kicks it from 17, and that bounces away. Tweeten is there for the board. With 6 seconds to play, Hawley will get the last shot of the third. Ted Cox back to Stout. Off balance, no good as the horn sounds. We've got 8 minutes to play. Someone's heading to Bemidji tomorrow to take on Cass Lake Bena. Will it be Hawley? Will it be Waubun? We'll find out in the final 8 minutes. It's 50-48 after 3.
Why, so glum, my gym-shorted chum. I'll never make the track team. Say yes I can with Hardy's roast beef sandwich. Yes I can, now I'm feeling fine. Oven roasted and carved to order, served to you in record time. Now do it for the biscuit. Yes I can.
Hardy's original roast beef is back. Bigger, oven roasted and carved to order.
Come on home.
The best things in life are free. Funny, so is our checking. Plus, Wells Fargo free checking comes with free online banking with a leading internet bank. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Boy, does Burns Motor and Hawley have the trucks. Burns has a great selection of new 2001 Ford Super Cabs, and Burns has the Ford Super Cruise you're looking for. Burns Motor has been awarded the Blue Oval Certificate from Ford in recognition of a high level of customer satisfaction. Great Ford trucks and customer satisfaction are what you're waiting for. Stop in at Burns Motor and Hawley. Large enough to serve you, but small enough to care. Burns Motor on Highway 10 in Hawley. Minn Kota Metalworks is your welding and metal fabrication headquarters in the Lakes area. Minn Kota Metalworks does custom welding or metal forming for your commercial or agriculture applications. Farmers, field work is just around the corner. Call or stop by Minn Kota Metalworks and get those much-needed repairs done. They also have portable welding and repair service at Minn Kota Metalworks at 818 Front Street in Hawley.
Steve Paschke may have stumbled upon some strategy. He waited until the second quarter to put Nate Tweeten in, and he's responded, Steve Molstre.
Yeah, he has. I think he has 18 points in those 2 quarters, and you see a really nice spin move. I don't know if he called it or not, but the way he's shooting tonight, he probably did call it.
Averaging 11 a night, he's got 18. Let's send it over to Eric Widman. Eric.
Thank you, Steve. Ron Oren just told his guys to take their time. He wants the offense to spread out a bit and pay attention to the screens. Andy Cox has three fouls on him already. They're going to try and screen him into his 4th and 5th and get him out of the game. Back to you guys.
Good work, Eric. Thanks very much. Let's see how it pans out.
I like Coach Oren's thoughts here.
For Steve Paschke, it's been the best of both worlds. He's able to sit down one of his players, make a point to his team, and the players responded. Rob Cox trying to nail the 3. That's no good. Ooh. The ball goes out of bounds. Jess Stout has whistled for the foul. He can't believe it. Nate Tweeten agrees, and Steve Paschke can't believe it either. And that's his 4th personal foul. That's a huge blow to the Nuggets.
Yeah, this is a foul you don't want to make 80-some feet from the basket you're defending. Questionable.
It looked pretty clean right there. It looked like Hanks just lost his balance, and Stout tipped it away from behind. At any rate, it's Waubun basketball. And Hanks will go against the Rob Cox defense. Pulling up on Andy Cox. That's no good. Wander tips it. But it's off his hand, and Rob Cox will bring it in bounds for Hawley.
Good defense by Rob Cox there. Not going for the fake, watching his belly, going straight up, and it was good defense.
50-48 in favor of the Nuggets. 7:27 to play in our Section 6A West Championship game. Tweeten working in on the double team. Reaching around is Joe Peralt. Stripped away, and now Kevin Hanks gives it to Wander. Took an extra little drag step in making the pass, and the turnover will give it back to Hawley.
Hanks is so smooth in the open court, we're not used to seeing something like that. A 3-on-1, and he travels.
The Nuggets looking to add to a 2-point lead. They've been playing this entire tournament with the target on their backs. Triple team now is Nate Tweeten at the top of the key. And the ball is tied up. The alternating possession will give it back to Hawley. By the look, a foul is called.
Peralt.
On Joe Peralt. Thank you, Steve.
It looks to me like Coach Oren might have mentioned something about Nate Tweeten being unattended for, because you're right, when he gets the ball, there's a crowd.
Ted Cox put it up too strong. Tweeten fights for it, but Matt Smith is there. Dakota in, gliding left hand, blocked by Andy Cox. and it's 50 to 50. Tweeting the answer, no. Boy, it thought long and hard about going through the hoop. Now Peralt back the other way, crashes in, no good. And Ted Cox corrals the rebound. And the underhand flip, boy, it's showtime at the Cobber Fieldhouse. 6:16 to play, and Hawley will take a quick timeout. Steve, any guesses as to what Coach Pesci is talking with his guys about?
Well, I'm sure he's just reminding his team of the game situation. We got a tie game, we got 6 minutes left. Each trip down the court needs to be a quality possession.
Teams will take a timeout, so will we. State Bank of Hawley scoreboard shows us it's a tie ball game with 6:16 to play.
Look for Pizza Corner Pizza in the freezer case of your nearest grocery store and pick out your favorite. Pizza Corner's vacuum fresh packaging is the reason why Pizza Corner Pizza is the best tasting frozen pizza. With large amounts of quality toppings, Pizza Corner Pizza makes a great tasting meal when you're in a hurry. When you serve Pizza Corner Pizza, your kids will say, it's so good. Look for Pizza Corner Pizza at your grocery store or order it at your favorite tavern.
To get ahead, you need to plan ahead. To get ahead in farming, you need to plan for opportunity. You need to plan for managing risk. You need a marketing plan that is supported by good records, tax options, and a detailed financial analysis. We can put you on the right track by helping you plan ahead for a profitable finish. Draw on our experience. Ag Country, Farm Credit Services. We're in business to help farmers do business.
Every day, in every kind of home, people discover the special pleasures of owning Pella windows. It's the ingenuity of 2 locks secured by a single handle, the promise of quality from the only company that tests its windows right on the factory line to make sure they're airtight, and the thoughtfulness of a door that locks in 3 places for added comfort and security. Discover why Pella owners are so satisfied year after year after year.
It's 50 to 50 with 6:16 to play. Dan Dakota tries to make something happen. Henry Wander does.
Opportunistic Henry Wander. That's the type of player he is.
Inbounds pass tipped away. Andy Cox had it batted away. The Bombers now have a chance to take a lead. This is Jesse Lotka in the game. Finds Dakota on the weak side for 2. And again, a pair of role players making it happen for the Waubun offense. 52-50 Bombers with 5:55 to play. Oh, friends, this one's going to be good before it's all said and done.
Yeah, this has the makings of a real good ending here.
Andy Cox says, give me the ball, fellas. Tries to get it to go. That one goes up strong against the defense of Hanks and Peralt. And I think it's going to go on Lotka. Jesse Lotka coming in from the backside. Steve Molstre, that could have gone one of 2 ways.
I think that the Waubun defenders, Hanks, and I'm not sure who else it was, had real good position here. Let's check it out and see if I'm right. Looks to me like Cox pushes back and charges here. We don't get to see it.
First free throw up and good. Cox with his first free throw of the night. He has a chance now to pull the Nuggets into a 52-all tie with 5:38 to play in the game. And he does. .5:33 to go in the game. Peralt working on the double team. Has it knocked away, but Hanks helps him out. Now Rob Cox, about 40 feet away from the basket, will pick up the foul. That's his 3rd of the game.
Peralt needs to recognize Hawley is coming out really far and double teaming or trapping way out top. Somebody's open underneath. He needs to unload the ball before that trap gets there.
The 7th team foul on Hawley. That'll send Kevin Hanks to the line. First free throw up and good. With 11 points, probably the quietest 11 that I can remember for a while. Second free throw is also up and good. Make it 12 for Hanks, make it a 54-52 lead for Hawley. for Waubun.
Waubun continues with this active zone. Rob Cox finds a little opening there.
How about Andy Cox hustling to the ball, hustling down the baseline, beating the defender. Layup no good, but he's fouled.
Cox knows the importance of these last 5 minutes. He's given it everything he's got.
That'll be the third personal foul on Kevin Hanks. First free throw up and good. Andy Cox has a season-high 32 points against Park Christian. Only 3 games this year he's been held into single-digit scoring. Another 2 there. He's 4 of 4 from the line now in the second half. It's 54-54.
Hawley setting up in that 1-3-1 zone.
Says we need to be aggressive attacking the zone. That time they pass around it and Tweeten intercepts. Inside, scoop layup for 2.
There he goes with that spin move again. The spin move is able to free him up. He blocks the defender with his body and takes it in.
20 for Nate Tweeten, 56-54. Hawley, correction. Kevin Hanks says, I got something to say about that. It's tied at 56.
And that's a very quick answer by Kevin Hanks.
4:21 to play. We're knotted at 56. Rob Cox in some trouble, tipped away, but just Stout is there. Both teams electing to go to zone defenses here in the final 6 minutes. Hawley, you know they got to be looking inside to Andy Cox. Back out to Stout for the open 3.
Right idea by Cox, kicking it back out. Stout had the open 3, just didn't connect.
Now Lotka looks to set something up. Ron Oren says we got to talk it over. Under 4 minutes to play now, 3:45 on the clock. Ron Oren takes a timeout. We will too. The State Bank of Hawley scoreboard tells us the final 3:45. It's going to be pretty good.
You wonder, both coaches are probably stressing the importance of every trip down the court. And I know I said this earlier, but now you're knotted up. You got 3:45 left, and every trip down the court is very important. Here's that beautiful spin move. He might have pushed off with the elbow there, but he uses that spin move to block the defender and free himself to the basket.
You just got to believe the Hawley playground has seen that play a time or two. Nate Tweeten so smooth. You kind of figure him for a plotting inside player when you look at his build. 6'2", about 210 pounds.
Yeah, really fleet of foot, you're right.
Very smooth with the basketball. The Waubun Bombers are the only team to beat Fertile Beltrami in Pine to Prairie Conference play. The Fertile Beltrami boys ended up 10-1 on the season, but it was a 70-59 win that Waubun pulled off at the home gym. Now they're trying to pull off a win here at the Cobber Fieldhouse. Hanks thought about the 3. So did Peralt. Hanks now will wheel inside, kick it to Peralt for the straight-on look. No good. Lotka is there. Left hand, no good. Hanks keeps it alive twice. Now a foul is called, and they'll get Kevin Hanks over the back.
Real nice work on the offensive boards. They do get Kevin Hanks with the over-the-back call. Once again, Hawley not doing a super job boxing out, as you see on the replay. They're going for the ball rather than pinning the Waubun offensive players. They need to pin them instead of go for the ball.
I have a correction to make. Kevin Hanks just picked up his second personal foul. I believe I said he had 3 earlier in the game. So he's still in pretty good shape. The 6th team foul. They were looking at some free throws, but with 6 team fouls, we're just playing inbounds basketball right now.
They'll be shooting on the next one.
Peralt and Hanks talking it over, saying, what do you think, partner? Can we pull it off? We've been so close the last 2 years. 2 seasons ago, they lost by 2 in this game. Last year, losing by 1. Can they change their fortunes tonight? Nuggets, though, will have something to say about it. They have the ball in a tie ball game with 2:58 to play. Stout inside, kicks it away, and it'll be Waubun basketball.
Stout drove hard, and initially looked like it was a real nice move. Then he kind of just lost confidence in his drive, and the ball dribbled out of his hands.
Under 3 minutes to play. Kevin Hanks with some quick instructions from Ron Oren.
Might be seeing a set play with Hanks blasting across the lane, and there it is. They opt not to give it to him.
Not a lot of movement right now in the Bomber offensive set. You think they just keep waiting for Kevin Hanks to make something happen. Hanks ball fake to Peralt. Had a chance to shoot a quick three, decided not to.
Waubun's become very timid on offense here. They haven't even got the ball inside the three-point stripe. They're not looking to penetrate or attack at all.
There is no shot clock in Minnesota high school basketball, so they can hold it for the last shot if they wanted to. Laka almost traveled and quickly bailed it back out to Hanks.
And the way they're going here, they might be holding it for the last shot. Who knows?
The referees will now start the 5 count until somebody comes out to play those guys on the perimeter. So Kevin Hanks could sit here for the final 142 if he wanted to.
I think I like this strategy.
Wander had the chance at a three. Now gives it to Peralt. His three. No good. Laka the rebound. Dishes inside to Hanks, and he is fouled.
Laka's come up with some real nice offensive boards in this fourth quarter. He's had a couple, I believe.
And Ron Oren goes on and gives him a little high five on the court. Says, good work, buddy. I needed you.
Oren's seat's going to be pretty cold. He's been standing this whole time, pacing up and down. He looks like Lou Holtz over there.
First free throw up and good.
If you're a youngster and you want to know how to shoot the basketball, watch free throw by Kevin Hanks. He's got a nice motion with his arm and follow through.
Kevin Hanks now with 15, looking for a 16. He is a cool customer. And we got a hot game in the old barn tonight. 1:28 to play. Waubun with a 58-56 lead.
Every day, in every kind of home, people discover the special pleasures of owning Pella windows. It's the ingenuity of 2 locks secured by a single handle, the promise of quality from the only company that tests its windows right on the factory line to make sure they're airtight, and the thoughtfulness of a door that locks in 3 places for added comfort and security. Discover why Pella owners are so satisfied year after year after year.
At Vegan & Johnson Furniture, downtown Hawley, you'll find super savings in every department. Quality furniture to spruce up any room in your home. Stop in March 16th and 17th for coffee and cookies and save during their March anniversary sale at Vegan & Johnson Furniture, downtown Hawley.
It's a new look for a new millennium. Dana Mock, Kirsten Keeley. WDAY News. We are your news leader.
The Bomber players with their hands locked together. They've been here before, so close the last 2 years, hoping somehow, some way that this will be their year. At the end of tonight's game, we'll be selecting a Wells Fargo player of the game. Will it be Andy Cox, the star center for the Hawley Nuggets? Will it be Kevin Hanks, the Minnesota All-Star for the Bombers, or will it be someone who rises to the occasion in the final 128? We can't wait to find out. And we know you can't either. Buckle up, friends. We're in for a dandy. It's Hawley basketball, down 2 with $1:28 to go. Steve, who do you want to see the ball in the hands of if you're a Nuggets fan?
Well, I think you got to get the ball to Tweeten or Andy Cox. But I think what you need to do, you're down. You can't afford to hold the ball much. You got to attack. You're down by 2. You need to attack. You can't let much time go off the clock.
Now that zone defense from Waubun, so active in the late going. Ted Cox steps inside, off the window, no good. Dan Dakota, but stripped away by Andy Cox. Up, no good. And Kevin Hanks is there. checks his foot to say, my goodness, I was so close to stepping out of bounds. Now with 51 seconds to play, the game in the hands of the Bombers. Nick Severson in now. Throws it to Jesse Lotka, and Severson, who's been in the game for all of about 30 seconds, will step to the line for the biggest free throws of his high school career.
These definitely are the biggest free throws, and it's an unenviable situation for him, coming into the game and having to shoot right away. Hawley fouled the right guy, but let's see if he's up to the task.
First free throw. No good. Fought for. Batted around. Batted around again. Out of bounds. It will be a jump ball. Terry Eider says, I'm not sure who hit it last. And the alternating possession arrow gives it back to the Bombers.
Terry Eider playing it real safe, and the ball was whipping around so quick it was tough to see.
Brault to Lotka, and he's fouled right away by Nate Tweet.
It's real obvious. Coach Bashy said, foul the other players besides Hanks and Peralt. They don't want Hanks to get his hands on the ball. I don't think he's going to be giving it back to anybody when he gets it.
That is the 10th team foul on Hawley now. That is significant because it's now a two-shot foul. So whether he makes or misses the first, he'll get another. He will get another. Lotka's first free throw, no good. This is a biggie. Can make it a three-point game with 40 seconds to play. Second free throw is good. Rob Cox, will they go? Will they call timeout? The Nuggets are going to go. Stout thought about the three, now tries to go inside. A dangerous-looking scramble, trying to call timeout. And he does.
I think right now, with 29 seconds and down three, there needs to be some type of set play for a three-pointer when we come back.
We've got 29 seconds to play. It's a three-point Waubun lead.
Why so glum, my gym-shorted chum? I'll never make the track team. Say yes I can with Hardy's roast beef sandwich. Yes I can, now I'm feeling fine. Oven roasted and carved to order, served to you in record time. Now do it for the biscuit. Yes I can.
Hardy's original roast beef is back. Bigger, oven roasted and carved to order.
Come on home.
Checking comes with so many other benefits, we leave other banks in the dust. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Hey, we're all right. Let's go. By the way. One, two, three.
Steve Paschy with some instructions for his team. Down three with 29 seconds to play. Steve, do you go for the two here, or do you go for the three?
Well, you could have one of two mindsets. You could go for the three, and they do have good three-point shooters. That's why I'm thinking that way. But there is enough time left if you were to get the best shot you could and then fall on the other end. But they hate to have to give the ball back to Waubun.
Inbounds pass coming from Rob Cox to Ted Cox. Tweeten looking for the tying three. No! But Andy Cox is there. Tweeten another try. That one's good. And with 18 seconds to play, Nate Tweeten has locked it at 59.
Interesting call. Steve Paschy calls the timeout, which I think Brian Oren might have been going to call the timeout anyway, but I think we both know who the ball is going to for Waubun on this next play.
Nate Tweeten has 21 points. He's averaging 11 on the year. His coach sat him down the first quarter. But he's responded from there.
Not shy at all. Takes 2 stabs at it, gets it on the second one, partly because of a nice offensive rebound and kick out by Andy Cox.
Steve Pashy has said it so many times, when you get this far into the season, you can draw up all the strategy you want, but it all comes down to some kid making a shot.
Yeah,
and Nate Tweeden missed the first one, and that young man with some poise launched the second, and that one was true.
It's a tie game. We can't lose this one, okay? But we can sure to hell win it. We got it, okay? We can sure to hell win this one, okay, guys? But listen up. You got to do everything aggressively. Hold up. Get your hand. Let's go. Come on here. Okay? Yeah, we'll get it. We're going to break it. Okay? But hey, they're going to come home, man. They're going to be trapping all over the place, guys, okay? They're going to be trapping all over the place. Listen up. We got 4 timeouts left. Okay? We got 4 timeouts left. And anything crazy happens, use them. Okay? And don't make a pass that isn't there. It's all timeouts. Okay? Get the ball up court. Get across. We'll call one. Maybe it was 8, 7 seconds. Okay? Our game to win, man. Okay? Okay. Go! Go. Team. 1, 2, 3.
Gotta be impressed with Ron Oren's speech there. He's calm. He's conveying that calmness to his players. He's talking nuts and bolts, reminding them of the timeouts, telling them that Hawley's going to be trapping. Nice job in the huddle by Ron Oren.
And a shout out to our camera guys working extra hard to bring you that inside information. Inbounds pass. Hanks lofted in the open floor with 16 to play. He's blocked from behind as he goes up for the shot. And Hanks will go to the line with 2 free throws to give his team a lead.
A good thing for Hawley here is that there's enough time on the clock to come back down. Here you see it, and it looked from our angle, it might have been all ball, but there probably was some more contact.
First free throw, no good. No good. It remains 59-59. Nick Severson in, Henry Wander will sit. Second free throw. Good. It's a 1-point game. The Nuggets will win it with a made field goal. Inside at 10 seconds to play. Rob Cox drives, floater, no, rebound, kept alive. Corralled by 2 players at the same time. Jesse Lotka had a piece of it. And I believe Ted Cox had a piece of it. The possession arrow gives it back to the Nuggets with 3 seconds to play. No timeout. Steve Cashy says, play on.
Don't fall the shooter if you're Waubun.
Cox to Andy Cox, the 17-footer. Rob Cox, the follow. It'll go. It goes. And the Nuggets win.
Unbelievable. Hawley seems to do this all the time in the tournament.
Kevin Hanks has been here twice before. And his senior season will end in the same heartbreaking fashion his sophomore and junior seasons did. It wasn't strategy. It wasn't drawn up. It was just an extremely athletic young man making an extremely huge play. And the Hawley Nuggets have earned a trip to Bemidji tomorrow night to take on Cass Lake Vena.
It's actually fortunate for Rob Cox that it was an air ball by his brother. Otherwise, it hits the rim, and he probably doesn't have enough time to put it back up and in. And you see Waubun, 3 seconds left. You don't think of boxing out, but there's another point to illustrate that you need to box out.
At the right end of the auditorium, Kevin Hanks just stepped to the line and went through a free throw, knowing that he just needed 1 more. Eric Whitman is standing by with the victorious Steve Pashy.
Thank you, Steve. Coach, obviously a huge game for you. What a shot by Rob Cox.
Just a good job of knowing the time. My heart goes out to the Hawley kids, too, or for the Waubun kids because it's tragic somebody loses a game like this. It's just destiny, I guess. I'm so proud of our kids. We hung in and we're down 3 there. Tweeten misses one, has the guts to shoot another, hits it, and then Andy misses a shot and Rob bails him out. It's amazing. I can't even put into words what I'm experiencing right now. It's all like a dream, but we're just so proud we found a way.
What do you guys do now? I mean, are you going to take a few minutes to look at this for a couple days, or do you start getting ready for the next game?
Well, we got to start already preparing for Cass Lake, and it's going to be a late night, but we'll just go on adrenaline. We're going to find a way.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Congratulations. Steve, stay right here with me. I got Rob Cox, who hit the winning shot. First of all, Rob, congratulations. What was going through your mind?
I don't know, I just saw it coming off short, so I just thought I'd get in position to put it in.
What were you thinking as soon as it dropped? Were you looking at the refs to make sure it went down to time, or what?
I was freaking out. I didn't know if it was good or not. Then when I saw the ref count it, I was just so happy that we won.
How does it feel? You guys are going on now to the championship game. What do you got to get ready for now?
We got to get ready for Cass Lake Bena. They got some good players, so we'll have to be ready tomorrow night in Bemidji.
All right, congratulations, Rob. Go celebrate with your team. Thank you very much. Steve and Steve, back to you guys.
All we can say is wow. Rob Cox with 5 points tonight, but the final 2 were monstrous. Let's take another look at it.
Comes up short, and like I mentioned earlier, probably for the best that it didn't hit the rim for Hawley, because then he has the opportunity to catch it in the air and put it in right before the buzzer. And another point that I already made is when you're Waubun, you don't think of boxing out when there's 3 seconds left, and it came back to bite him there.
If he would have grabbed the ball, come down to the floor, and put it back up and in, it would not have counted. He had to throw it up off balance with the left hand. And not only throw it up, but with some English off the backboard. An amazing play. One that the Nugget fans will talk about for years and years and years to come. And so will the Waubun fans.
That's logging all that time in the gym and rebounding for your brother and probably throwing up rebounds like that, very similar, paid off for Rob Cox.
Eric Whitman is standing by with Ron Orn. Eric.
Thank you, Steve. Coach, obviously a very disappointing loss for your team. Your reaction?
Just like I said, I don't know. We worked our tails off. We got back into it. We had our chances, and just, what more can you say?
Okay, congratulations, Coach, on a great season. Thank you very much. Steve and Steve, back to you guys.
As heartbreaking as it is for Ron Orn, it is doubly hard to see your young men have to go through the experience, Steve. You know how that feels.
You betcha. And in a game like this, you got 2 teams putting it all out on the court, and 2 good coaches. Just sad to see somebody lose in a deal like this.
Are collecting their gold medals with a blue ribbon around their neck. 61-60 the final score in one of the most fantastic finishes that we've seen in quite a while. Our Wells Fargo player of the game. He didn't have the most points, he didn't have the most rebounds, but he had the 2 points that mattered when it was all said and done. Rob Cox with the off balance, in the air, reverse layup putback is our Wells Fargo player of the game. Congratulations to he and the rest of the Nuggets and Coach Steve Passy, and the best of luck to them as they head to the Section 6 championship game tomorrow night. This brings to an end a great season of live televised sporting events here on WDAY. We hope that you've had half as much fun as we have. For Steve Molstre and Eric Whitman and our entire technical crew, headed up by executive producer Stacy Anderson, this is Steve Hallstrom saying good night. The final score, Hawley 61, Waubun 60. Good night, everyone.